Well, it's another beautiful evening right here on MX24. This is The Dish. My name is Miriam Uduak-Mensah. This is the best evening talk show in the capital, brought to you by Epiglo. My name, again, is Miriam Uduak-Mensah. We're coming to you live from the MX24 studios, Oleander Street, East Legon, Accra, Ghana. It's always a delight to be here. We bring you thought-provoking discussions, empowering perspectives on women's issues, and a focus on global development. Come along with me as we continue to elevate women's voices, disrupt outdated norms, and drive real change with progressive women. You know, that's like my favorite tagline, progressive women. I want to say a big thank you to Decazone for giving us this very beautiful set, and a big thank you as well to Epiglo. Now for Epiglo, it says that skin is struggling. You are struggling with that skin. You cannot even show certain parts of your body just because the skin is not skinning. So Epiglow is going to help you have the perfect look. You don't sometimes, you know, after using Epiglow, you don't need makeup. You don't need extra oil on this. The skin will give you what it's supposed to give. And so grab you an Epiglow today. They have their own facial cream and the cream for the entire body. Grab one today and thank me later. Big thank you to Gino, Telecel, Cowbell Coffee, and Betway. Note that when you go on the social media platforms and we are having the conversation, the hashtag is The Dish on MX on all social media platforms. Today, we are going to be touching on a very important topic, which says no means no. When it comes to women, sometimes because of our societal, what's the word for it? Differences or certain disadvantages, they'll tell you that you cannot say this in certain regions, certain religions. Women cannot do this, women cannot do that. Women cannot even say no, because when you say no, you look rude, you look this, you look that. But women enforcing their own boundaries is an important conversation you and I are going to be having. Now, it's a crucial concept centered around the importance of women asserting control over their personal boundaries. No means no. I know they do. This highlights the rights of women in our society. It's important to also say that now, without, having fear or guilt, shame, or even focusing on the consequences. So when I say no to this person, what if? You know those what ifs? Yeah, you have to know how to get to a point where you're saying no without having to consider or worry about any of these things, whether it's in a professional space, whether it's with friends. Enforcing your own boundaries or building your own boundaries is one important thing. And this evening, we are going to be talking about that pretty shortly. And to join me to do this, I keep telling her that when I relaunched into the media space, her name was like everywhere. Every single room I enter, talking about production, talking about media, talking about people who have like made their mark in this media space. This woman's name is one that you cannot mention the names of people who have made their mark in this industry without having to mention her name. She goes by the name Sangmorkie, Tetteh, doctoral researcher, UPSA. Because someone asked me, how is it that she is a researcher and all of a sudden you're talking? Well, Sangmorkie, good evening. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. And you?
I'm blessed.
And I love your outfit. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Oh my God. Yay. And I also have joining me a wonderful woman, Akua O, Obeng, Yeboah, author and founder behind the Smile Operations Manager at ATBS Limited. The Smile Operations is her own project, her own baby. But ladies, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening.
Your smiles are giving me like we're ready for the conversation.
No, but with such an intro, why will we not be blushing?
You know, for her, right? She would always look at your presentation skills from a producer's perspective, right?
Yeah.
Like, how did I do?
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
There we go.
Natural. You're natural. Seriously.
Thank you. Oh, I love that. Okay, that's a compliment. Okay, right. So let's get into the conversation for this evening. When we talk about women's boundaries, I remember there's a time ago, some time ago, I listened to a sermon and it says building boundaries, not walls. And I was like, there's a difference.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you yourself can't even tell whether you're breaking your own boundaries. Yeah. Even as women, because we are for a very long time been the marginalized in the community or in our society. It's hard to not bend your own boundaries or to break your own boundaries because if you don't, you might miss out. Then that's a thought in your mind. But what does it mean for women to truly own and assert their boundaries in today's society? I'm going to start with you, Sangmorkie.
Right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. This is my first time in your couch,
Yes,
really. So,
yes. Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And you're going to be coming a lot.
Of course. So I would like to start by defining boundary.
Yeah.
I think to the layperson, when we mention boundary, it's like a wall.
Yeah.
Okay. But of course, from your introduction, a wall seems like a very harsh word.
Yes.
It's like you can't break through.
Yes.
But boundary means that having limits, you know, around you, that people cannot penetrate that limit because you say, no, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm doing this to this extent. And in this context, it's more of personal space. So we are talking boundaries in terms of our personal space. So then, typical example, some people have boundaries with regards to call time. You can't call me when I'm having lunch.
Yeah.
There are people, you can't call me after 9. I'm not one of those anyway, but there are people like that. Like after 8, no work calls.
Yes.
Weekends, no work calls.
No work calls.
Maybe my husband's mother cannot call me after this time. You know, there are all those things.
Yeah.
There are people, they are going to bed, they turn off their phones. Even if you are dying, you cannot reach them.
Yeah.
That is how they like to assert their boundaries. And talking about boundaries, you can look at it from the home.
Yes.
You can look at it from you as a personality,
Yeah.
and then you also at the workplace, even in your family and the community in which you live. Because you realize that a lot of women, and because you are talking women, let me just go straight and center on women. You have issues even at the church.
Yeah.
Women don't know when to say, it's too much.
Yeah.
Going for maybe all-night service is too much. Pastor says, I want to do this to you, is too much. Even financially, some people don't know how to limit giving at the church because they feel like we are supposed to give to God. And so even if it's killing their finances, and I know they'll kill me for this, but I have to say it, killing, you know, it's draining you. But there is a 1-week program. And Monday to Friday, you have to be giving. Sunday, they are calling Ama, Kofi, Mensa, and you are still giving. So that is why we are here, to talk about the kind of boundaries you will set at home, at the workplace, at church, in your family, and even, and that's it. So that's why we are here. So I'll leave it for...
You leave it for...
later to break it down.
To break it down. Because I was enjoying the conversation, though.
Yes.
And I'm sure you were too. Let's dive into it again with you, setting boundaries. What does it look like? Now, for women, sometimes it's difficult to even tell that I need boundaries in this space. And I love that you bring the church up because sometimes, because of our spiritual orientation, we cannot tell that, nah, this is going overboard. This is not supposed to be done, you know. And so for you, let's talk about what that means.
I want to pick it up from where Sang ended about the walls and the boundaries.
Yeah.
So the fact that I have walls and boundaries around me, so I come from where I work. The fact that I have a security fence on my wall doesn't mean that I hate everyone around me or I don't love anyone around me. And the fact that I have a remoted gate is that I'm telling myself who can come in at what time. I'm protecting my safe haven, so nobody can just bag into my house because I have that. So I'm saving myself and I'm also saving the ones around me. So we will not fight about the land because we've demarcated our boundaries, and that is very important. And from the Christian perspective, in the Bible, it states that Jesus at a point in time had to separate himself from the crowd, meaning that even our Lord Jesus Christ set boundaries. When he realized that things were not going on right in the church, he spoke about it. So the fact that I have boundaries does not mean that, one, I am rude. Doesn't mean that, one, I don't believe in what is going on in the church. But then my safe haven is important. My self-value is important. In the workplace, you're supposed to work for a particular number of times. You need an additional hours. It's breaking you. You need to speak about it. But then women have been conditioned by society to be givers, to be selfless. Selfless does not mean that you should kill yourself. Because if you are giving more and it's hurting you at the end of the day, you are going home to go and cry, then there is no essence in giving what you are giving out. So boundaries for us is very, very important. And so as a Christian, as an individual, whatever religion you find yourself in, it's good to set boundaries. Don't feel bad for setting boundaries, because even our Lord Jesus Christ had to move himself from the crowd.
Let me add something quickly. You mentioned that women are supposed to be giving and all that. And also there's this thing about women are supposed to be strong. and you remember I told you outside, I don't like to even call women strong. Why can't we just be? Who is going around telling men they are strong?
No one is telling them they are
So
strong.
it's like every time everybody sees you, strong woman, and you have to be strong, and you have to be this, and then you are killing yourself. And anytime you refuse to set a boundary in one aspect of your life, the other aspect is suffering. So if you are at the workplace and you are not setting the right boundaries, either your relationship is suffering, your kids are suffering, your marriage is suffering, your family is suffering, because if you are working overtime and you can't complain about it, it means you are not going home early to pick your kids from school or something of the sort. So you need to understand that boundaries are very important to you as a human being. In order for you to have a holistic life, you need to even create space for yourself and tell yourself, this is me time. Even with kids, you need to find a way and discard them and then sleep somewhere and tell yourself that I'm tired, this is me time. Otherwise, that's how you end up getting depressed and stressed and all that. So I wanted to chip that in, that it's not okay to be a strong woman, seriously. Just be you. Why do you want to be strong?
So Anita Erskine says it's very profoundly. She said, the same body that is stressed from work is the same body that is a mother. It's the same body that is a wife. Absolutely. It's the same body that is someone's best friend.
So
and you know what that means? I'm coming to rely on you for energy sometimes. You get what I mean? So if that body that is stressed at work is not fine, every other person suffers. So you are absolutely right. Now, how can we support women in being able to enforce these boundaries? Because, you know, sometimes we tell ourselves that I'll not pick call at 5 o'clock. After 5, nobody should call me. Or don't talk to me, because I also was watching, again, I also sleep on YouTube sometimes. I was watching one of these therapies, and he was saying that, listen, it's sometimes you tell yourself that you need something, and then you tell yourself again that, why do I need it? The fact that you are now asking yourself why you need it after you've told yourself you need it, there's a problem with you. And there's a problem with you loving you. And sometimes when we talk about the self-love situation, other people look at it from a selfish perspective. It is the fact that you are important too, and you should consider yourself when taking certain decisions. How are we able to support women to feel empowered to enforce their boundaries? Like, I need to get this thing done.
Right. I always think that, you know, when you say, how are we supposed to help women? I'm on a journey to disabuse women of that feeble, vulnerable mindset. I feel like it's long overdue. Women, and we heard her grief story, but she's here. She's here to talk. Women like to, you know, feel feeble, quiet and all that. We understand where we are coming from. We are coming from a society which is heavily misogynistic, very patriarchal and all that. And so it's very difficult to be assertive without words, you know, that being called out that you are too hard and you are too this and you are too that. But let's always think of ourselves first. If you think of yourself first, you love yourself and you know the importance of setting these boundaries. And so then society can now come in and help you. If the policies are at work, we have policies at work, but like sexual harassment policy and stuff like that. But if you don't enforce them for you and ensure that they are enforced, who is going to do it for you? I will leave my problems to come and talk about yours. I'm also thinking about mine. So first of all, yes, we want to help women through education. You need to first of all inform and educate them. Some of them don't even know boundaries. They don't even know that they need boundaries. At home with their body, your body itself, you need boundaries. I remember one time I put something, this video that went viral on social media, this pastor, Pentecost pastor, who said, you know, he said the sex and the wife and stuff like that. People were actually, and he didn't even know it was wrong. It's a boundary. A woman has a right over her body. She needs to tell you, I don't want to have sex with you. You get it? And that's it. And even I was telling my friends that we need to embark on an education where young women will understand that they have the right to even tell men, and excuse my harsh words at this time, you have the right to tell men that even if you want to have something to do with them, you want to use protection. And these HIV rates are going high up, STDs high up because of boundaries. Women don't have control over their bodies. Women are afraid to tell people, don't sleep with me. All these things are conversations we do not have. And so you get a young girl, sometimes you find yourself in a situation, you're asking yourself that, okay, so I'm in this situation. Maybe somebody has cornered you into a corner, but because you are mature, you are able to escape. You ask yourself, okay, if you said somebody who is first year uni, will the person be able to escape? Sometimes people are chatting you need something, and they change the conversation. And you have to be very harsh on them and tell them. And you know, we shy away from certain conversations, but I will. Okay, so what do you want? I should come to your house. What do you want from my house? Why do you want me to come to your house? Oh, it's nothing. I said, me, as old as I am, I should come to your house. You think I'll fall for that? But I realized a young girl could fall for that and say, oh, maybe I'm a choir, oh, and but boundary. You should know that I don't visit men in their homes. It's your boundary. You should understand that I don't do this, I don't do that. So women must first of all be educated to know that this thing happens. At the workplace, I say, even before you start a relationship, we will discuss everything. Almost a mass me on social media, I'll tell you, you want to talk to me? You're asking me, what do I bring to the table? You even ask me. I am asking you, what are you bringing to the table? This is me. This is what I do. I don't do this. I don't do that. I don't do this. I don't do. Is it okay with you? You are not now going to marry me or start dating me and expect I should do this and that and that.
But
you understand?
Sangmorkie, but this is just, you're just one of.
That's what I'm saying, education.
Right.
That's what I'm saying,
because
education.
from where we come from,
exactly,
there's a certain upbringing. And you know that that's our attitudes and how we show up is deep-rooted in how we were raised.
That is why people who channel the gender course, and that's why I started by saying that I have moved from women being feeble and we understand you to now get up and speak for yourself. You have that affirmative action.
But then does that not contradict your statements that women should be strong? And I said strong.
No, I said I don't like to use the word strong. It's not in the act, but it's in the word. You know, it's like I'm tagging you to be strong.
Yeah.
I don't want you to. I feel like you are walking and already strong. Why should I now come and think? It's like beauty with brains, as though we don't see you to be pretty and intelligent at the same time. But it's a normal thing. We are all here. We are all pretty. We are all intelligent.
Find that very,
you know,
very
strange.
It's cocky a word. I find it very
cocky.
Some
I
way
get it.
when,
yeah, it's cocky.
When people say that, oh, this is a beauty with brains. Yeah, well, beauty without brains.
It's like that's the norm.
Okay,
you see,
people are very shady.
If you do that, if you do that, it's like that's the norm. Oh, beauty without brains. So you are beautiful and you are brainy. Oh, wow, that's shocking. And I get that a lot.
That's shocking. Why is it shocking?
I don't know.
I know. I get what you're coming from.
They ask you, what are you doing? Oh, me, I'm doing my PhD. In what? The first thing they ask you is the course. In what course? I'm like, oh, international security and intelligence. Hey, that's a big one. Oh, wow. Oh, beauty with brains. Oh, wow. You come and ask me beauty with brains, seriously. Yeah. But you get, I feel like we need to educate women more, inform them as well, constant reminder, and we must have policies at the workplace, at large in the country, and then the churches too. I'm always on the church. Oh,
we'll go there.
I'm always on the church.
But we'll go there. But one thing, I also embarked on a project very recently, and I realized that there are laws and there are policies that are not being enforced.
Yeah.
So it's not that they don't exist; they're not being enforced.
Yeah.
Now let's come back to the conversation. We'll talk about the policies at the end of this conversation. But when it comes to emotional intelligence, how does this help in any way, shape, or form? Because someone would say that, oh, you know how to say no because you are in tune with yourself. But let's talk about emotional intelligence role in enforcing boundaries.
So for emotional intelligence, if you set boundaries, people will judge you. But then in judging you, they get to understand you at a point in time and say that for a Kia, if she says after 9, it's after 9. If you don't stick to your boundaries, their emotional intelligence will not work. And 2, somebody will be telling you yes, but the yes actually means no. And somebody is saying no, but her no is a yes. So, for instance, yeah, you find yourself in a compromising environment, like what she was saying earlier on, and you are telling the guy that no. But you're, oh, please, no. But what you're saying that no, you're still there. Oh.
You are there.
But as you're saying that no, you should.
How will you know?
Yeah, so your no is
No, so the
feeble.
men are always saying that, oh, but in Ghana, when the women say no, it means yes.
Yes, because while she's saying no, her body language is saying something else, and she's still sitting down. But if you've said no, and your no is affirmative, it goes with your firm look and everything, and you're leaving the compromising scene. You're taking serious. Then their emotional intelligence is also going to work for them to understand you. So for me, it gets to a point where somebody tells me yes, and I'll be like, oh, though you said yes, I'll let you go because I can see that you're tired. Because I understand the empathy form of where you're saying yes, all right, but you're worn out. So we should be able to affirm our answers. If I'm giving you a no, it should be a straight no. And I want to go back to what she asked earlier on in terms of how can we support and empower people. And I believe that we should start with the younger kids, our children. We need to let them understand that their body is their body. It is for them. They have the right to who should touch it. Even me, your mother, I should know where I should touch it. She gave me a boundary as a child. Then those raising boys, you teach your boys as young that they need to respect their fellow girls in school. When we start from that area, everything changed. And we need to speak up. Because there's something I saw this morning. I was even sharing with Sang outside. The 3 C's. Choice, chance, and change. The choice is when you set the boundary. The negativities will come, but you've set the boundary. It gives you the chance to step into the next role you want to step into. Then the change will come. But if you don't take these 3 C's important, the change won't happen. So you will set the boundaries all right, but you yourself will break the boundaries for your friends. And then you can't have hurting yourself. And a time will come, you would need the support, but because you broke the boundaries for others, no one will be there for you. And you find yourself alone in pain and loneliness.
Interesting. I think this conversation boundaries is a very is a very powerful conversation. Sometimes when you're thinking of where do I start from, right? That's when you realize that it's not just words. Because when you yourself have actually broken the rules every single time, like I don't talk to these kind of people. I was also learning something. I'm going to chip this one in briefly before we go on break. I was reading. Was it reading or watching something? It's either reading or watching something. So it was watching. The gentleman was like, it's not that I want to say that don't talk to me. But if you talk to me in this tone, I will not be standing here to listen to you. So talk to me nicely. Then we can talk. That is boundaries.
Yes.
I hope that example helps. So it's not that you're going to, don't talk to me like that. No. That is you not displaying one emotional intelligence. Because you're getting in your feelings. Someone is talking to you crazy, you're going to tell the person, I'm going to America right now. You're going to tell the person. And when you talk to me crazy, I will not be standing here
listening to you.
Listen to your craziness. So I'm going to be walking away. But if you talk nicely, whatever the concern is, no matter how painful it is, I'll hear you. Well, we're talking boundaries here today and how the women can actually enforce these boundaries that even in themselves they have built but are not able to bring out here. We're going for a quick commercial break. When we return, the conversation continues right here on The Dish. We'll be right back. You're welcome back to The Dish right here on MX24. If you're just joining in, you made the right choice. We're having big conversations that bother on women's development. And so for every woman who's watching right now, you are at the right place. My name is Miriam Udwa-Kumenta. My guests are here, Akua and Sangmorkie, seated here, right? Doing the Lord's work, okay? They're doing the Lord's work. One of the things that I would like us to touch on, please, a big thank you to Epiglow, to Decozone for this beautiful set, Gino, Cowbell Coffee, and Telecel. I want to say big thank you to you, Betway as well. Thank you so much for holding me down every single time. When we're talking boundaries, I'm going to go back to something we started talking about. We didn't completely touch on it, is where we come from as a people, how we were raised. It's not, we cannot have this conversation without having to say that, listen, where we came from, how we're brought up, and who brought us up matters a lot in considering how someone breaks their own boundaries or other people's boundaries. Sometimes not sometimes, our parents don't even know what it meant to own your space and to be. That is why we're going to be hearing things like, those times now, down to earth.
This morning I was discussing that in my car as I was driving with work with my friends in the car. I was telling them that I saw a video last week where we were told that our mothers were used to cook, wash, clean. They'll go to work, they'll come back, come and prepare swallow. But you and I, we've all gone for 9 to 5. We've all driven on the motorway, and you want me to come back home at 7 p.m. and come and pound fufu. It's not going to work. But
I have a certain, I have another thought about that. Again, back to the conversation on boundaries. Once you know as a wife, and we all know that there's certain alleged or touted primitive thoughts that are really not primitive. They're just times that have changed, and we need to just adjust it a little bit. Because if you're the mother of the house, who should be cooking for you, right? So at the time when you know that me too, I'm doing 9 to 5 like you. You and I, we are going and coming, and we are all paying bills, or even worse, I'm probably taking care of the food in the house. I'm the one who's going to be cooking. You're going to say that maybe if you're a husband who doesn't eat warm food or
fresh
food, you only eat fresh food. We have to come and now start talking about it.
Yeah,
that is why sometimes setting the boundaries from the onset, especially when it comes to
the relationship, is very
important.
You see, that's it, oh, sister. Mimi. That's it.
Yes.
That's why I said that me in the relationship, I'm telling you, like the day you enter my DM or you meet me and you take my number and we start, I'm telling you what I do, what I don't do, what I like. I realize girls or ladies want to get married so bad that some of them, they don't tell you who they are. This is me. What you see is what you get. Some people tell me, how you are on social media, is that how you are? I said, that's exactly how I am. In fact, I'm even worse. And they'll say, oh, you're a nice person. They deliberately, oh, I can see you're a very nice person. No, I'm not. I'm not a nice person. I'm not afraid to tell you that I don't do certain regular things that you... So I can write your proposal for you, for your business. I can give you all the contacts you want in the world because I know almost everybody I need. And I know, even if I don't know the person, I know how to get you the person. I know how to set meetings for you. But if I say I will come and be cooking at home every evening for you, I can't do that. So you either take the contacts and the proposal writing and those things and manage the other side. Because I keep telling if I'm dating, I tell you, I can stand one night and cook 10 meals. Yes. I'm the type. Yes. Do all my soups, all my stews, and put it in the fridge. So you can't tell me you only eat fresh food. Now, come I see fridge now, a woman. How am I to manage that? You get it? Yeah. As I sit now, and Aisha was telling me that era, she said, I like school too much. Me, I'm doubling as a law student at Makola and doing my PhD at the same time. Imagine if I'm married and I have kids. You should understand that, son can't be cooking every night for me. In fact, I expect you to even cook and call me and say, baby, or send me a message and say, baby, when you come home, the jollof is ready. And it's so cute. Because at the end of the day, if I make the money, where am I taking it to? Is it not the home? I'm bringing it home. If you are on retirement, you are older than I am, maybe a few years older than I am, and you're on retirement, won't I use my money to be taking care of us? It's beautiful. So why is it that you want to limit me? And then, on social media, the men, and there's a point I wrote when I was going through some things for the discussion, that men like to tell women how to think. It's something I've really realized on social media. They want to tell women how to think. They want to tell us how to feel. They want to tell us age is not good. Like aging, you shouldn't mention your age. You shouldn't do this. As for women, you are growing. And everything about women, they want to tell you, even the boundaries we are talking about.
They won't tell you what kind of boundaries you can set.
You tell them that, oh, me, I don't talk to people after 9. Oh, but Obadie, you shouldn't, hey, that, if you do that, you never get married, though.
Yes.
Because, like, they want to tell you how to live your life. And so this tells you the essence of this discussion. Because if you are always there listening to how people are telling you, because that is how you were brought up. I mean, and when you were talking, I was just smiling because at home it's like that. Like my parents can come and knock at your door if you are sleeping. And they, oh, Sang, I want this. Oh, Sang. They don't even care that what now. They think that, oh, because you live with them and all that, they are okay with that. But that's not the point. As you grow, you need to list. For me, I do that. I sit and realize that, no, I didn't know boundaries. There was a point I was draining because everybody asked me for a favor and I do it, especially work. People will be calling me. It's like my birthday. Somebody can call me and say, Sang, I want the contact of this person. And if I don't have it, I'll say, okay, I'll try and get it for you. And now it's my burden to be looking for the contact. When, oh, Sang, I'll rely on you. Sang, I'm waiting for you. I need it like right now. You've left the work for me. And I have to be looking for the contact. So I'll tell you, no, I don't have it. If I get it, fine. But you can also be asking around because don't really count on me. And then there are tasks that I'm giving. And at first I couldn't say no. They'll call me, oh, Sang, I want you to join this event for me and help me organize it. We're like, okay, yes. I realized at a point in time, so there was a girl, a friend, and you mentioned friendship. There was a friend I spoke to, my sister's friend actually. And she said, oh, Sang, for me now, I say no, no, no. Since that day, it was some 2023, I think March. I said, no, 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 I can't be doing this yes, yes, yes thing. I started sending people, no. Can you give this thing to this person? Can you give this to that person? They call me, Sang, can you speak at this event? No. Can you do the no? Even MX, when they called, I asked, MX, because it's in East Legon, I'll come. If it's because I live just here.
Yeah.
But if it were Circle, I won't go. So I have learned to say no. And as you said, it's because of where we are coming from. You can't say no, but the men say no.
Yes.
My brothers, they will always say no.
Let me hold you right there. let me hold you right there. One of the reasons why I think that women need to, it's as important as it could ever be.
Yeah.
Because the men, they have it all together.
Oh yeah, they say no. I mean, so easily. Like don't try.
You will not cross a man's boundaries 1 second. He will not give you the opportunity.
And he will
I
be
said my
very
junior brother.
violent
He can
towards you.
tell you when I go out, don't call me.
Be very firm with you.
Yes.
Let me borrow that word instead. Be very firm with you. So if we have anybody, and I would always say that humbly learn. If you have anybody to learn from, look at your men.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at how the men will tell you that I'm going to this thing, don't call me.
Even when you have a baby and they are following the men, say, oh, me to be fanning cool.
Also meant to be funny.
You too, that should be a point.
Learn to be as firm as you could ever be about the things that you believe in, about the things that you know that are not making you happy. Because the thing is that one thing we don't also consider is if it's not making me happy, then it's not good for me.
Yes.
Exactly.
Life is not meant to be endured, it's to be enjoyed.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's difficult and you have to be able to manage through it. But even through the difficult times, you should be able to have peace of mind to go through that difficulty.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Now let's come back all the way back to, women and on learning certain things. Because we have all established here that upbringing plays a very crucial role in the fact that we're not able to enforce certain boundaries. But how are we able to unlearn? Because the how is important to me.
Yeah, very.
The how is, I just gave us one tip that learn from the men.
Yeah.
Yes.
The men are doing it, they're acing it at it. Learn from the men.
So I would continue by saying that we need to be very firm, as you were saying. If I say no, it is no. And we need to begin with our circle. Because our circle is the issue. Your friends, your family, your boss, your child. Sometimes we just say yes because we are scared to say no to our kids. We just say yes to make them happy. But we should be stern to say no to our child. The child will understand that, Mommy, if I go there and I say this, Mommy will say no. But sometimes because we want a certain peace of mind at a certain time, we just do it for them. Our friends, we give in so much to our friends that we break our own boundaries for our friends. At the slightest call, at all their burdens, you are there listening to them. But it gets to a point where you would need them and they won't be there for you because they will tell you that they have set boundaries and you can't cross their boundaries, but they were breaking your boundaries. And ever since I started realizing that I was giving in so much than I was caring for myself, and I took a step back to care for myself first for every other person, I found peace. I realized that, oh, so that 3 hours I can be there for someone, I can use that to read and empower myself. I can use that to sleep and get energy. So we need to set our boundaries and begin with our immediate circles. When we begin with our immediate circles, yes, we will lose some friends, but we'll gain some who understand the definition of our new boundaries. So we need to start with our immediate circle, family. So your mother will know that this thing I'm going to tell Akua, it won't work, so it will not go. If I call Akua at this time, she won't pick. If it's Sunday, I know she's gone for brigade. Brigade time is brigade time. So you've set the priorities for them. They know that at this time she's here. When you call her, she'll not pick. So your immediate family gets to understand. Your immediate friends get to understand. Your work colleagues get to understand. Your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, they get to understand. That's how the wildfire will go out.
Wow.
But until the immediate family understands, and the people in our close circle understand, the welfare will not go out. Because if your friend, oh, I'm calling Akua, she's not picking, they'll call your mother, they'll call your colleague, or they'll call your husband. Oh, me free Akua, oh, I understand that friend are on fire. The next time your friend will not call you at that time again.
That's
Very
powerful.
important.
That's powerful.
That's what we need to start from.
Very important. I wanted to add that, you know, for me, my example, I said initially I found it difficult saying no. So even at home, everybody, because at my home, I'm the first child. So my mom knows that when she asks everybody to do something, they say no. As for me, I'll say yes. They say, oh, son, can you do this for me? I'm like, okay. Can you do this for me? So sometimes when she asks me, can you do this for me? I said, no, I'm busy. She's like, oh, but you can do this. After this, you do that. One time I looked at her and I said, you know what? Whenever you ask me for something, I say yes. So the day I say no, know that I cannot do it. And you keep going around and telling me, oh, but you can do it. If I could have done it, you know me. I'll say yes. So the moment I gather the courage to tell you no, you should know that it's a no-go area. I can't do that. And since then, when she asks me something, son, can you do this for me? I say yes. If I say no, that's it. She knows, and that's the boundary. So she now knows that what can say no, it means she can't do it.
Yeah. And with the no, I was discussing something. You know, why is it that when we say no, they ask us why? When we say yes, you're not asked why. A typical example is when those in love do their social media video of will you marry me, and they say yes. Nobody asks why she said yes to the proposal. But immediately she says no, the video comes out. It becomes probably ridiculous. And then everybody is asking the person why she said no. But maybe that lady had set boundaries. And in that relationship, she thought where we have gotten to in the relationship, it's not yet time for me to say yes to you, so I need to say no.
Maybe
that no is a boundary.
To tell you she
yes,
like
you again. And that's the perfect time. But I realize anytime we say no, they also don't understand us, want to manipulate us to change our no to yes. But that is when we need to be very firm around no. Because no is a complete sentence. But there's no need for us to explain our no to you.
I think maybe you even mentioned, you both have mentioned you go to YouTube and all that. I do that. I think that if you don't know how to set boundaries, you sit in your room, you start by maybe writing the few things you know. Maybe from this conversation you've heard a few. Then you go on YouTube, social media. You can Google setting boundaries. Pointers will come. Read it yourself and look at the things that you can align with and start from there. Also, you have friends who are, I'm sure everybody in your circle, you have some friends who are, you know, more enlightened when it comes to some of these things than yourself. It doesn't hurt to learn. You can ask them, I want to have a conversation with you when it comes to boundaries. What do you understand by boundaries? And do you have boundaries? How do you set yours? So what are the key things that, you know, we are in the same circle. What do you think I should? And my friends tell me, I learn from them as well. And they also learn from me. They will say, oh, Sang, you taught me how to say no to this. Or you taught me how to, because I have some friends, they are dating, but the guys will call them maybe once a week. And they don't care.
I did it.
And one of mine said, and I know she'll be watching. She said, Sang, you know, you taught me that a guy cannot be dating you and not call you every day.
Hey, yes, you didn't know that.
She didn't know that. She said, yeah, because me, I didn't care. Like he calls me today, maybe 1 week time he comes back. I said, oh,
I'm in a relationship.
You are not in a relationship.
even my cameraman has shock.
I didn't know.
Once a week.
Yeah, and she didn't know and she didn't care because she didn't know. You get it? But for my conversations, I always say, hey, me dear, I can't be dating somebody and you not call me every day. It's a must. You have to call. So apparently she had picked that. And I said, oh, son, you taught me that I cannot be dating somebody and the person will not call me, blah, blah, blah. So there are friends in your circle who are doing certain things you don't know or you take for granted. So you can ask them. Yeah. Those are the hows, how to get your boundaries, right? Because I agree with you. We always talk about the issue and not even hammer or, you know, highlight the how to go about
because have you also noticed that even with the celebration of International Women's Day, a lot of people talked about boundaries with the opposite sex, and I said really and truly, and I like the point you raised, that it's not really they are not the problem.
No.
We are.
We are the problem. We are the problem.
We are the problem. We have
the thing is sagging you in. The thing is hurting you. I always say that where do you set your boundaries from? Is the fact that this thing makes me tired. This thing makes me lose my sanity. Yeah. It's at that point that you need to set the boundary. When you are losing your mental stability, that thing is making you cry. You show up, you are smiling, but when you go in, oh, my back, my waist, my head is aching me. At that point, you know that you have reached your limits. So you should have said no. Yeah. At that point.
Yeah. I think that it's safe to say that sometimes when the conversation is kept at a certain level, it helps sink in. Yeah. Because my women, because you know, unlearning these very old.
Yeah, and your intro, you said outdated norms. I really like that.
Very outdated.
I loved it.
Outdated norms, things that are breaking us. We women are one. There was a time someone told me that women live longer than men. And I said, you're not doing your research well. You're not. It used to be the case.
No.
Because the women didn't know that the things that was done to them was not good. Now we've thrown light on them, so now they are feeling. Yes. Because those times, Obeko market and then no abano abe eduane no be sorry ahomachan eduane ahwe nkwala no asansan ne chako. This cycle was okay. Yeah. Because nobody told her
she needed
that more. You need the man should help you too. Yeah. It's not his responsibility, but because again, when you define the roles of whoever is in a relationship, there's one for women and there's one for men. But we're saying that let's work together. Yeah,
even Mimi, sorry to cut in, but because you mentioned women and the home, even childbirth, we had women giving birth to 7, 8 children because boundaries. She's not able to discuss with the man. And you know, you are the one getting weak. Yeah. You go and give birth the first time, you are weak. You go again. Even the interval of you, some men don't even allow their women to use contraceptives and stuff like that because church is saying something, he himself doesn't believe in it. Some will even start dating you and tell you, oh, me, I want to have 5 children.
But how many children do you want
to have?
They won't ask you that
They
question.
won't ask you. I want to have 5 children.
Then you
and
accept.
I'm like, okay, then I'm the wrong person because me, at my age, I can't even give birth to 5. So what should I be doing? So maybe 1 or 2. Oh, no. So I said, if you are lucky, I even have twins. That's it. If you can't become. You get it. But then he will say it. You will be giving birth and you will be dying. And then you will die and leave him and he is there. So you need to set boundaries even with childbirth because your body is getting weak. You understand? So I wanted to throw that in.
Now, what are the psychological effects on women who struggle to set boundaries or have their boundaries ignored? Because you know some people do it. Yeah. You have said it, but don't call me and they will call you. You pesado. Don't text me, oh, pesado. Inti nipa ni uwa, inti money from, inti me here, so inti me no kasani this stone when you overlook it now, and they will be telling you they're ignoring your boundaries. What are the psychological effects
it
of these?
It affects your self-esteem, number one. You lose your self-esteem. You feel you're not good enough. You lose your self-love.
Please start from the top.
That one
they didn't hear you.
Standing ovation for that. That's it.
You lose your self-esteem.
You lose yourself.
You don't believe in yourself anymore because if constantly your boundaries are being broken, it tells you that thing that you value, that you've set yourself, no one else values it. So you see yourself as trash. So you don't even have the energy and the confidence to stand enough. So there are women that their spouses have told them that they are ugly, or their parents growing after that, oh, they are one year family, but now you're time. And it's been said continuously to them. So even when they try to look pretty, they are scared because everybody thinks I'm trash. Oh, they are still not looking good. So it affects their self-esteem and their confidence. So you see those women, they don't, something is happening to them. They are in a toxic relationship, but they can't even talk because their self-esteem is done. They lose their self-love for themselves because constantly they've not felt love. Because she's saying no to a particular thing because she's tired and she wants you to express love to her. But because the no she said was manipulated and had to reverse to become a yes, she lost the love that she has to get for herself. So they lose their self-esteem, they lose their self-love, and it leads to depression and anxiety, which leads to mental retardedness in the long run. I'll use myself as an example. So she spoke about my grieving experience. I could have decided that I'll let this grief hold me bound, or I can decide that I could let this grief make me a better person. Now I speak to people about grief. If I allowed that, if I didn't set boundaries and I allowed that thing to eat me up, where they say widows don't speak, widows don't do this, I would have found myself in a circle where I can't do anything. But because, yes, I set boundaries, I told myself, yeah, my situation does not define me. But my situation should make me learn something that will help someone else who is coming, who has no forehand on what had happened to her. So if we all decide to set boundaries and go by it, then we can become better persons. But the caution is that those who are not helping us to maintain our boundaries, they are killing us. So they see themselves as killing us emotionally, which will end up helping us die eventually. So we should all try and help ourselves. We should be each other's crown fixers. My crown is falling, you hold it well for me. My sister, you said this, let's keep to it. So if I am your friend and I said don't call me at 9 and you call me at 9, oh wait, I'm sorry I called you at 9 yesterday, I've caught the call. You understand?
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to come in from, you know, you mentioned confidence, that you lose your confidence, and we're all drooling over that. And you lose your confidence because there's something called self-trust. That is how we build our confidence. And what is self-trust? Telling yourself, I'll do this, and actually doing that. No matter how little it is. It's like telling yourself that, oh, let me do this work, after this I'll buy myself ice cream. And then you are done and you buy yourself the ice cream. You know the relief you feel when you are, it's nothing. But so if you tell yourself, nobody should call me after 9. If they call me, I'll not pick. I'm telling you, the first day, you don't pick a call at 9. You see how you feel the next day. Like, I need the manfa call ya manfa. You know, like you feel
the best thing that happens in the world.
Manfa, can we about this step? And you go the next day, you realize it's nothing. Why did you call? Oh dear, yeah, I wanted to ask you something, but it's sorted. Oh, please, imagine the relief you feel. So that's very important. Now, what I want to add to it is, on your part, as she spoke from our part, on our part, like you, the individual, you get stressed if you don't set boundaries. You are constantly stressed because over time is killing you, your family is dragging you, everybody thinks they can rely on you. Now, the sad bit is that from the other part, you think that doing all this for them will earn you some respect and they'll love you. They don't love you. They don't care about you. You realize that when they want to get free things done, they'll call you.
Yes, but they don't pay you.
They'll never
go
call
to the professional.
Because you see, you lost your respect.
Yeah.
So they don't value you. It's something I learned in the industry. I used to do things for free, but they didn't value me because you call me, I'll do it for you for free. But when they needed somebody to pay, they called someone else. And I was like, no, but I'm better than this person. So how come? When I started setting my boundaries right, you called me, you mentioned the bill. I said, no, you can't pay me below this. And they'll go round and round and round and come back and say, okay, Sang, but we still want you to. I said, better. You will pay me exactly what I asked for. And that is how you benefit, because even setting boundaries allows you to get financially empowered.
Yes.
Because you can use your extra time to do other things, really. So, yeah.
You see, when we're having shows like this and the wonderful team here begins to get impacted by it, I know we chose the right topic.
Right.
And so, first of all, shout outs to our producer, Ira. Thank you so much. And also to Daphne. They have done an incredible job bringing this up, because I know they're very passionate about this topic. I know when they brought it up, they were like, oh my God, we need the right people to have it. And they are proud. And thank you, ladies, so much for helping dissect. And I always borrow my very favorite person, my favorite person in the industry. He was my co-host before. I know my co-host will kill me. He says, let's kick a shit this topic. Ladies, how do we connect with you? I know you wrote a book.
Yeah.
On grief.
Yes.
On how to grieve.
Interesting.
It's more like my story.
Yes.
How I dealt with my grieving journey, and it has affirmations I was telling myself every day, and then certain prayers I wrote every day. And I also have the Behind the Smile, which is an initiative to reach out to people who are grieving, both people who are grieving and individuals, on how to deal with people who are grieving. So that's what I do. So on social media, it's Akua O, Yeboah, or Behind the Smile.
Behind the Smile.
Yes, on all social media.
I think we all can go and support Behind the Smile to teach and to help our sisters and brothers who are going through, especially the men. Charlie, I'm sure
no
you
one
know
thinks
this.
about the men.
Yes. Especially the men. Sometimes they just don't know how to deal with it, and then they become toxic people in the society. And so let's go out there and support Behind the Smile. Support them whichever way you can. You want to partner with them with any projects. She's ready. Her story is such an incredible story. A story of a survivor. I wish I had time to do this. We'll do it again when we have her talk about it. I think our next topic is dealing with grief.
That'll be a good one.
Yes.
Right, at Sangmorkie on all social media platforms.
Social media is on fire. You go there. You go and learn. I beg you, bro.
Today I've learned just 1 hour, but it's more than going for a seminar. I tell you.
Sangmorkie, any other way we can connect with you?
Okay,
what
social
can we
media
invite
mainly.
You for?
Oh, I because I'm always in school, but I like to talk about gender issues like this one. So really, issues about gender, it's priority for me.
Wonderful,
yeah, so
wonderful.
That's it.
Please go and connect with them. I know that we cannot use this show to dissect everything, but we give you pointers to be able to guide you in life. Again, we have conversations with very progressive women who understand that the future is bigger than what we see today, and so let's just keep working and growing together. My name is Miriam Uduak Mensah. This has been The Dish on MX24. Connect with us on all social media platforms. It's MX24GH on all social media platforms. A big thank you to Epiglow. Epiglow says that, listen, that skin is struggling. Get you an Epiglow cream and thank me later. Also to Telecel, to Gino, to Betway, and Cowbell Coffee for holding us down. Now, for DecoZone, they say that if that house will be a home, you have to come there, grab something to make it very beautiful. Because you know, sometimes boundaries is also, setting boundaries for yourself is also making sure that that house is clean and looking nice. Set up your house. Buy small pieces. Create an ambience that you can always come to relaxed and refreshed. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Go to DecoZone and thank me later. We'll see you again next week right here on The Dish. We'll be right. We're done.